Greetings, Malifaux fans. This is Crazy Carl back with another Malifaux video battle report. Today I'm bringing you a 35 Soulstone scrap played against Corey, aka Takagi on the Weird Forums, and we were doing a Ressurrectionists versus 10 Thunders match. We flipped Shared Distract. We flipped for shared strategies to begin with, and then flipped Distract. I decided to go with Nico because I really like, it's paralyzing stuff is really good. Plus, I just finished Izamu, and I really wanted to get Izamu on the board, and Izamu seems to go very well in Nico. So, let's be honest, I just wanted to get Izamu on the board. So, that was my reasoning. And Corey actually took Yanlo, which I thought was pretty cool. He'd actually just finished up Yanlo, and that's why he went with him. And I think Yanlo is actually probably not too bad at Distract either. He can get really quick and get around the board really quickly, which is really good for him. So Corey brought along Yanlo with 3 Ashigaru, the Soul Porter, which is his totem, Chiaki the Niece, Izamu the Armor, and an Orion. And he had, I think, his minimal Soulstone cache. I think he had a cache of 5, and then he spent 2 of his stones to go into whatever path it is that puts him towards Spirit. His first one was +1 walk, +1 charge, and then the second one was flight. So Yanlo was already walk 5 with flight, which is pretty good, and then he picked up Spirit very shortly thereafter that. Yanlo is able to customize his abilities by getting chi points, which he gets whenever something dies, or at the beginning of the game he has to announce how many Soulstones he wants to give away to get chi points. So he took 2, and that case gave him flight. I brought along Nico with the Grave Spirit attached, Rotten Bell, 3 Canine Remains, Izamu the Armor, and Bet Noir. I announced Army of the Dead because I figured we were doing, a lot of undead guys, so there'd be a lot of corpse counters running around. And then I hit Holdout because I kind of went all in on my strategy and scheme, thinking he might not be able to get all the way to the deployment zone, but he might be in half the table, so I'll be able to score the points on that. Corey announced Stake a Claim on the pipes, which you can see right in front of Izamu there, and then he had Hidden Breakthrough. So he was actually planning on trying to deny me the points full out, so he was going for the deployment zone buffer and extra points, and then, unknowingly trying to take out my holdout. So turn 1 was just general advance from both crews. I was thinking about using the bell to lure up Izamu to get some extra movement out of him, but then decided I didn't really need to do so. So there wasn't really a whole lot that went on there. Corey did a really good job of keeping his Ashigaru together. They have a 0 action, which basically pushes things away from them whenever they enter nearby. So they have a CB of 5, and then anything that enters within the 3 inches of them, when they have that ability up, it gets pushed away if they hit them. So it's a pretty good ability. I had Izamu basically leading the charge. He was a lot of fun to paint up. I enjoyed having him out. And the Grave Spirit makes him pretty bonkers. Grave Spirit plus Nico puts him at CB8, Defense 7, with Armor 2 and Object 2. So you just can't kill him. He's incredible. I had my dogs just kind of going up one flank as more of a diversion than anything else. I figured if they died, I'd just summon them as something else, so I wasn't terribly concerned. I forgot that Yanlo is also a grave robber, and he uses his corpse counters to summon back his, ancestors. So that was actually kind of a bad move on my part, because he could just fly Yanlo over there and take all the corpse counters when they died, so that was not going to be a smart move on my part. But anyhow, going to the second turn, that's when all the action started. Corey charged Izamu up to attack a dog and actually failed to kill it somehow. I think he missed or something, but that was pretty awesome for me. This is after Yanlo actually fired off a couple shots with one of his spells. He has a spell that if he kills the model with it, he gets a chi point, and if he has a trigger on it to get an extra chi point, so that's pretty cool. Worth noting, only things within 8 inches of him dying give them chi points. He doesn't just get them for everything, so very relevant, but not, end of the world kind of thing. I, for my part, activated Nico before anything else, and didn't really do much. I think I paralyzed an Ashigaru or something, and I was able to get off Bolster Undead, which just makes all my guys amazing. So I had my that's why Izamu missed, because my dogs were defense 7 against his CB6, so it worked out pretty well for me. Now you can see a shot of Izamu. He had moved up to I think I tried to attack Yanlo. At this point, Yanlo wasn't a spirit, so I could get in full damage, but as it were, I don't think I hit him. I think I flipped poorly or something like that. The bell tried to lure up one of the Ashigaru, and that Ashigaru just ended up moving back, so it was kind of a net neutral there. The dogs, I think, attacked Izamu a couple times. I think I got a damage on him, but it was nothing really impressive. I didn't want to risk attacking him too much because he has a riposte trigger, and getting riposte off on dogs is basically insta-death, so I decided to not do that. Corey did a very good job of keeping Chiaki early on in the game. Very good job of keeping her centered in the crew. So her healing ability is going to affect everything. Her buffs are going to affect everything. And she was on the other side of this fence, which meant that as long as she stayed far enough away from it, she'd only have to worry about Izamu, and Izamu was being held off by the Ashigaru. So that was pretty good on his part. Going down the road, a couple of dogs ended up dying to Izamu because Corey won an activation on turn 3, which meant he was able to kill off, I think, 3 dogs. I think it was just 1 activation, kill a dog, 1 activation, kill a dog, 1 activation, kill a dog. And then he was able to swoop in with Yanlo and pick up, I think, only one of the corpse counters, which was good for me. If he'd picked up all 3, I would have been in a lot of trouble. As it were, that left Chiaki a little exposed because he moved Izamu away. So I was able to use my bell to lure over Chiaki, which basically kept her stuck within Izamu's melee range, so she wasn't able to go anywhere. And over the course of 2 turns, I was able to kill her off with a combination of zombie attacks and attacks from a summoned Crooked Man after I had paralyzed her, so she wasn't doing very much. Turn 4 is where the game really started to go Ari for Corey. I won initiative and was able to fire off Rigor Mortis, cheating in a red Joker, and using a Soulstone to put it at like a 32 or 33, and then Corey didn't do very well on his Soulstone flip and ended up getting paralyzed. I then tried to paralyze the Orion, which up until this point has done pretty much nothing, is being proxied by that doppelganger I forgot to mention earlier. But I failed on the Soulstone flip to get it high enough to hit him, so the Orion didn't get paralyzed, but it didn't really matter. The only thing that really mattered was getting Yanlo. So I got Yanlo, which was pretty good for me. Again, I have Izamu here leading the charge. I had a turn, this is I think mid-turn 4, I had Izamu, and I decided to just start whacking on his Izamu because they were both within each other's melee ranges. Mine was much more defensible than his was, so I thought that I could, kill it without worrying about getting attacked back. As it was, I got him down to about 4 wounds, and then Black Joker did not kill him on my last activation. So Izamu was able to kill off, I think, the last dog, and then re-heal himself up quite a bit. I think he got a severe on his healing flip for doing the severe damage, so unfortunate for me, but what are you going to do? The Soul Porter was able to send Chiaki's soul back to Yanlo, if Yanlo was ever able to be unparalyzed. But as things ended up being, the Orion moved away to try and hide away from my stuff, which was a good idea because they're pretty squishy. They're harmless, but they're still squishy. As it was, I won initiative on turn 5. Nicodem was able to paralyze Yanlo again, and I moved up and summoned a couple of mindless zombies just to use as basically free hits if his Izamu decided to try and tag me. As it were, he had his Izamu attack my Izamu, which was bolstered and wasn't able to do much. And then he eventually, I think, got my Crooked Man down to 1, but didn't kill him. I was hoping he would because I had a high crow in my hand and I was hoping to paralyze him, but such as it was, that did not happen. The Izamu then moved around, hiding behind the poor Orion, who is obviously going to be able to defend him, but not really. Corey was actually stuck for a little bit. He's like, I don't know how to get Izamu out of here. I'm like, well, Izamu can push through height 1 and height 2 models. He's like, oh, that's good. So he just walked away. I failed my disengaging strike and didn't feel like cheating in a higher card to stop him. So I ended up chasing my Izamu after his, leaving the Crooked Man kind of the Crooked Man in the dust, because the Crooked Man isn't going to be able to do much. He's not going to be able to get through Chiaki. Here you can see my bell sitting kind of in the mid-backfield on my side of the deployment zone, or my side of the table, just getting ready to pull Yanlo back if Yanlo decides to try and fly away. Because at this point, Yanlo had Flight, Spirit, he gained +2 defense, and then I think plus damage on one of his attacks. So he had a bunch of abilities, so stuff was dying all over the place. At this point, we had lost 3 Ashigaru, the dogs, and I think 1 or 2 other models. It was pretty bloody. Well, I guess not super bloody when you have the Ashigaru dying because they're skeletons, but regardless, they're really cool models. I thought they were really neat, and they're movement 5, which is really fast. Walk 5, but then charge 3, but they charge for 1 action. So they're really cool models. They're really cool models. So here you can see Nickdem. I shuffled the zombies around, planning on moving him into the other deployment zone. This is turn 6, and I was able to fire off another Rigor Mortis because I won initiative again. This is, like I said, the game really went downhill for Corey when I won initiative 3 turns in a row in the last couple turns of the game. But Nicodem just has that ability. If you win initiative, you can cheat in your 13 that you drew along with a Soulstone. You're probably going to paralyze the opposing master. Although Yanlo is willpower 7, which is a help, but without having initiative, he's not going to be able to run away or activate the Orion to give him a plus on his willpower flips or things like that. So we ended up closing the game pretty quickly after that. Corey figured he probably isn't going to be able to score any points. So I agreed with him. It didn't seem very likely. It would take a lot of luck for him to have anything go on. So we ended the game there. My my forces kind of staring him down, and then Yanlo's stuck dealing with Nicodem and his zombie horde. So the game was a lot of fun. We enjoyed playing it, and it was really cool to see 10 Thunders on the table. Being able to take Orion as a 4-stone model instead of a 5-stone model, I think was pretty cool for Corey. But he's really looking forward to having Toshiro out, which is going to be cool. So we didn't really score up the points. I ended up getting pretty much all my schemes and my strategy, and Corey, I don't think, got any of his. So it was a good game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to have some more games up soon as we're getting our players back into the swing of things playing Malifaux. See you next time.